First at 4 might today be yet another turning point in Michigan's coronavirus crisis.
This is the moment that medical experts have been warning us about and dreading since the beginning of this pandemic.
More on the briefing that perhaps you just heard from Governor Whitmer and local hospital CEOs who have an urgent warning for all of us. Paula.
And that's why the state's largest school district is pulling all of its students out of face-to-face learning and going remote, giving parents only 4 days to get it figured out. Hi, Andrew.
Hey there, Paula. Good to see you. Good to see the sunshine as well as after a frosty start. How long will we keep the sunshine into the weekend? How chilly does it get tonight? That and an update on Ada coming up.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon. I'm Devin Skillian in for Karen Drew today. First at 4, the coronavirus crisis in Michigan once again reaching a critical point. We just heard from Governor Whitmer, who is calling this a very dangerous time in our state. Also, today we saw the CEOs of every major hospital in Southeast Michigan sounding the alarm about the impact of the virus. Detroit Public Schools shifting back now to virtual learning. That starts on Monday. The state just confirmed a new one-day record, 6,900 cases of the virus in the past 24 hours. We've also seen an additional 45 deaths, pushing that total to over 7,800, getting close to almost 8,000 lives lost in Michigan. Paula Tutman is covering this decision from the Detroit schools, but Kimberly Gill gets us started with Governor Whitmer, who was just talking live here on Local 4. Kim.
Devin, and good afternoon to you. As you just mentioned, it seems as if a lot of things are happening connected to this new surge of COVID-19 cases. Less than 3 hours ago, the governor confirmed she'd be offering an update from her office. And some of the highlights from that update, Governor Whitmer says the curve that we had flattened is now heading straight up. She warned we could be heading toward a daily peak in the number of deaths by Christmas. The governor is also warning that no one is immune from the virus, especially as we spend Michigan's winter months inside. She said medical experts advise not spending Thanksgiving with anyone from outside your household. Instead, hold Zoom calls with other family and friends. Whitmer says we cannot let our guard down.
Sadly, COVID-19 is not done with us yet. It doesn't care if we are tired of it or if we are angry or weary. This enemy is relentless. And now the second wave of COVID-19 is hitting us, and it's hitting us hard.
And Devin, the governor is clearly trying to convince all of us we have to change our behavior to slow down this surge. She did not mention new lockdowns, which are, by the way, starting to happen in other states. We have another crew sifting through what all the governor had to say today. We'll bring you another live report coming up on the news at 5.
All right, KG, we'll see you then. Let's move now to Paula Tutman. I mentioned she's covering this decision from Detroit Public Schools. Paula, they've been trying to keep schools open for face-to-face learning, and the numbers have just proved too problematic.
Yeah, they really did. And I want you to remember what this school district had to do just to offer face-to-face offerings, court battles, protests, bus being stopped in their tracks. And now, in the end, COVID wins this one. What do you do if you're a single mother with a 13-year-old son and you have no option to work from home because you are a professional caregiver? If you're Melissa Redmond, you can't even wrap your head around what happens next. Her 8th grader has been going to one of Detroit's learning centers where he gets adult supervision for remote learning while she goes to work.
He's an honor roll student, which since he's switched over to virtual, his grades have fluctuated a little bit. But the fact of leaving him alone all day online, that's not something that I would want to do.
With COVID rapidly spreading in Detroit, the untenable decision for the state's largest school district. Today, DPSCD goes 100% remote until January 11th. Something the superintendent fought bitterly against, but now must reckon with.
We said we would open up schools based on science and data. And likewise, we said that we would suspend in-person learning based on science and data. You know, as of last week, the end of last week, the city's infection rate was at about 4.8. When it becomes announced tomorrow, we're likely going to be at 6% or higher. And I'm just uncomfortable about what that means for a safety perspective for our employees and our students.
But when you are a parent of a 13-year-old or even younger, and you can't leave that child at home alone, and you don't have help, and the school is not only school but childcare, so you can provide for your family, when you have to make the hard choice between survival and family, both will take a hit.
If there has to be a choice, it's going to be my child, but it's kind of going to be difficult because how am I going to be able to provide for my household if I have to make sure that my child is getting educated? So it's kind of a hard situation to even be put in.
It's absolutely untenable for so many parents. Let's be clear, tomorrow, the end of face-to-face learning, Monday, the end of these learning centers. Lots to unpack, including what the district is going to do to try to help parents get through this. That's at 5. At 6, family of 5, supposed to go back to school. It's done. What on earth do they do?
Yeah,
Devin?
exactly right, Paul. And him talking about that testing rate in Detroit, much lower than it is in other parts of the state, and yet too high for Detroit Public Schools to continue right now. All right,
Great
Paula.
point.
Yeah. Let's talk now about that warning from local hospital CEOs. They gathered today to warn us about the alarming trends they're seeing. They say over the past 5 weeks, the average weekly growth rate in cases has been 40%. COVID-19 patients staying at Beaumont Hospital, for example, have tripled in the last 30 days with more than 400 in its 9 hospitals. Positive test rate for patients at Henry Ford Health System near 16% right now. The CEOs say the state could top its spring hospitalization peak that we saw. They could top that later this month.
We don't want to go back into the spring of this year when it really was getting to be a very difficult situation. The healthcare system can capsize if you don't keep it under control. We're ready to dedicate, as much as we need to helping COVID patients, but it's not unlimited. And that's what we all need to be mindful of.
Yeah, hospitalists are encouraging everyone, as the governor did, to mask up, practice social distancing, and reduce the number of large gatherings, even, I think the governor would now say, even smaller gatherings, to try to slow the spread of the virus. Remember, you can also track all the latest info on the coronavirus page at clickondetroit.com. We compile it by the hour. Tense moments this morning after an apartment complex catches fire in Southfield. Sky 4 over the scene at the Carnegie Park Apartments near 11 Mile and Inkster Road. Ongoing renovations at that complex are believed to have sparked the fire. Fire chief says there was another fire in this same unit some time ago. No one was hurt this time around. That fire still under investigation this afternoon. New housing and retail development opens in Detroit's Old Redford neighborhood, with a presidential suite. Take a look at the Obama Building. It's on the corner of Grand River and Lazar on Detroit's west side. Building was named after an artist's painting of the former president and First Lady, Michelle Obama, dancing. A 103-year-old former bank building was renovated into a space for apartments and for some retail. Funding for the Obama is part of Mayor Duggan's Strategic Neighborhood Fund. No sign yet that President Trump is ready to concede the 2020 election, and it is raising concerns among military experts now. Legal fights continue in a number of battleground states, including Pennsylvania and, yes, here in Michigan. A Wayne County judge has promised a ruling tomorrow in a case in which the Trump campaign is targeting local election officials in Detroit and Wayne County. Military and intelligence experts tell NBC the delay in a Biden transition could put the country at some security risk. And now Republican Senator from Oklahoma, James Lankford, says if Biden doesn't start getting confidential daily briefings by tomorrow, Lankford will step in. Tropical storm Eta has once again left Florida drenched, damaged, and picking up debris. We've got video right now from Tampa. The storm hit South Florida on Sunday before coming back for a second landfall along the state's Gulf Coast. Came ashore in Cedar Key. That's just north of the very heavily populated Tampa Bay area. Right now, the storm linked to 1 death, but its impact being felt over a very wide area as it pushes across Florida. The 29th named storm of the season, and that breaks a record that was set back in 2005. Andrew Humphrey is in for Ben, and he's got the latest. Andrew.
And certainly calmer weather for our friends and relatives down in Florida as Eta continues to pull away, moving to the northeast, but it's going to straddle the coastline. Here's a loop of the radar picture, and you see it's pulling a lot of water off the Atlantic, and so the Carolinas are getting hit. Maybe not with the highest winds, but certainly some of the heaviest rain from northern South Carolina and through North Carolina as well. As it continues to move to the northeast, it won't be away or farther away from the United States where rain is less effective really until late Friday and then into Saturday when it's back over open water. While around here, we have nothing but blue skies, of course. We can be thankful that we have calm conditions here. Still is chilly with 48 degrees. How much colder does it get tonight? It was frosty this morning. That and your weekend forecast in minutes.
All right, Andrew, still ahead. The clock is ticking for TikTok. Yes, we're following the TikTok. The popular video sharing service is facing a critical deadline today. We'll have the latest on that next. Also, coming up a little bit later on, how far are you willing to go to see live music? One of the biggest ticket sellers could be adding new COVID-19 requirements that might seem rather intrusive to some. And we'll give you a taste of a Thanksgiving tradition, a parade preview that you can only see on Local 4, of course.